Hi. Happy Fun Friday. It's Fun Friday. It's Fun Friday for Freak Out Friday. Well, that's so funny. I used to call it Freak Out Friday. Depending upon how much work I haven't gotten done during the week before, it's either Freak Out Friday or it's Fun Friday. What is it to you guys? Fun Friday or Freak Out Friday? I'd love to hear what you have to share today about your Friday. Hi, Bill. So good to see you. You're up in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, it must be really cold there because it's cold here in the desert, which cold is all relative. So I'll tell you what. I'm thinking maybe it's 60 degrees. I'm going to look at my weather app right now. It's 63 here. It's dropped below 100. Thank God. And in Seattle, I've even got Seattle on here and I've got Skamania on here. Seattle, it's 54. So it's pretty chilly where you are. Oh, I like that. Christiane, Feliz Friday. Oh, I like that a lot. So if you're here, say hi. Let me know you can hear me okay. Friday. No, it's a nice 53 and sunny. Oh, beautiful. I like that because then you get to wear all your fun jackets and sweaters and earmuffs and hats and all kinds of fun things like that. All right. So if you're wondering why my water looks a little cloudy, it's because I put lemon in my water, especially first thing in the morning, but it's not really first thing in the morning here. It's afternoon, but I drink a lot of lemon water. Helps to clean out your system, especially in the morning. How many of you have a practice that you do in the mornings? Do you do any kind of like cleansing practice in the morning, meditation, exercise, anything? It's a heat wave. 63 is a heat wave. I get it. It's a little chilly for us, which is nice because it's sweater weather. Yeah, we went through, here in Arizona, we went through quite an intense summer. And I know I'm not complaining. It was just really intense because we couldn't be outside because it was 100 plus constantly for like 5 months, it seemed like. And now we're just basking in this. Oh, you do lemon water with sea salt. Yeah, sea salt, good like mineral. And yeah, I do that every so often too, but the sea salt tastes a little weird. Yeah, no, and I just saw my hair just flying up. We've got a lot of static electric stuff going on today as well. All right, so wanted to talk about mental chatter and meditation. When do you do meditation? Excellent. So I've had a meditation practice for, I don't know how many years. I've had a meditation practice since I've probably been 16 or 17 years old. That's when I first learned how to meditate. And then throughout the years, it sort of went up and down and up and down. You know, some days I would, some days I wouldn't, some days I would, some days I wouldn't. And I at least get in now, at the very least, I'll sit down for 10 to 15 minutes a day and first thing in the mornings. And with my meditation practice, and I don't know, for those of you that meditate, I'd love to know how you're meditating, whether it's a moving meditation, because meditation doesn't come just in the form of sitting and being silent, right? Meditation comes in the form of, you could be like Wayne Dyer used to run. He would run 15 miles a day, and that was his meditation. And so and we're going to talk about mental chatter in a second and how to eliminate some of the mental chatter that keeps going, that, you know, the yippity. How many of you have constant mental chatter, and there are days that you feel like, what's going on here? You can't calm it down. Do any of you feel that way, where the mind is just racing, and you just need a little peace, and yet you can't seem to get that mental chatter quieted down? Any of you have that experience? Okay, everybody has calm minds. Let's see it in the comments. Yes, me. Anybody have like excessive mental chatter? Somebody said my favorite time is about 4 a.m. I have favorites I go to. Wow, 4 a.m. I'm still sleeping. Yes. So Bill, you're sharing that, yeah, you do have that mental chatter. And I know that there are nights when I can't fall asleep because I've got that mental chatter going on and I can't seem to turn it off of whatever's going on in the world or whatever's happening with my life or business or marriage or whatever it is, or relationships. Sometimes when you try to go to sleep, Janet, okay, you too. Yes, you do. It never shuts up, Karen. I totally get it. I get it. And I have to, it's something I work on regularly. You do self-hypnosis for sleep. That's excellent. And there's some practices that I found to be really super helpful. And then I want to share a story that happened to me this morning during my meditation, kind of interesting. So one of the best ways I've learned how to cut out the mental chatter is to, and it's going to sound so basic and so simple, and it is to listen to your breath. Mona, I know, me too. Holly, you too. I used to all the time, but balance in my life has helped. Absolutely. Well, and a couple of things. Hi, somebody's saying hello. A couple of things really, really help. First of all, exercise really helps to cut down on the mental chatter. Getting out in nature, exercising on a regular basis. It's not just, oh, I have mental chatter and I'm going to go exercise. Moving your body several times a week, if not every day if you can, even if it's dancing, even if it's yoga or getting out and walking in nature or whatever it is, helps to balance out your body. Also, sugar. I got to tell you, but if you've got a lot of mental chatter, sugar only exacerbates it. I know that from personal experience because I'm a little bit of a sugarholic. Like, I love my chocolate. But I've noticed that since I've cut out a substantial amount of sugar, that it has helped calm my brain down. And that goes with alcohol as well. It's helped calm my brain down quite a bit. Just helped physically. So those are the physical things that I do when I'm in a place of just neurosis, neurotic, intense, mental chatter. Yes, somebody mentioned Qigong is very, very helpful. Moving your body helps. And this is like long term. So keeping yourself sustained in a certain level of exercise, cutting out sugar in your diet. I know you guys have heard this over and over and over again. And I'm not talking about cutting out all sugars. I'm talking about white sugar, talking about artificial sugars, not talking about fruit or bananas or blueberries or pineapple, but you'll notice a big difference. I remember I worked with Gary Zukav years ago, and this was one of the conversations that Gary and I had gotten into about how he had noticed a huge difference in his emotional well-being with depression, with mental chatter, with calmness of spirit, in cutting out all the white sugar and alcohol. Alcohol that does have a lot of sugar, of course, would include wine. Beer's got a lot of sugar in it. So if you do need to have some alcohol or do want to have some alcohol, because I haven't cut out drinking completely, I do like to have a cocktail now and then. And I know this is going to sound like such a strange thing to say, but having something like vodka and club soda with a squeeze of lime or something like that. And still also just manage your sugar intake. That will help cut down your mental chatter substantially. The other piece that I've noticed that is very helpful for me, especially when I cannot sleep at night, because my brain won't shut up. And whether you've done Reiki or not, it's okay. You can just do a little bit of hands-on healing with you. So 2 things that I do. So I'll start with my hands like this. I'll call in energy, and gin is a little bit high in sugar, Janet. And I'll put my hands over my eyes. My eyes are closed, and I'll stay here for about 2 or 3 minutes. And I'll just breathe. And as I do that, I listen to my breath. And that's all I'm paying attention to, is listening to my breath. So I do hands over eyes, then I do hands on the side of my head, and I'm breathing. My eyes are closed, and I'm listening to my breath. I'm paying attention to the movement of my body when it breathes in and when it breathes out, when it exhales. So paying attention, paying so acutely, closely attention to your breath, listening to it, feeling your body rise and then decrease. So I put my hands here. I send healing energy to the sides and then the back of my head. So right in the base, the back of your head. And so you're sending some healing energy to it while paying attention to your breath. And then if I'm still chattery, I'll put my hands on my head. And then I will also move it over to my throat chakra. Because where does voice come from? Voice, of course, is coming from your brain, but also voice energetic. When we're speaking, it comes from our vocal cords. So I will put it on my chest, right here, right at my throat chakra. And then I will put 2 hands right here on my chest area if I'm still in need of calming down. So calming down here to the side, base of your head, throat, chest, and then back, right around here, right around your kidneys. So right here. And so that, it's like magic, works every time, because I'm listening to my breath, listening to my breath. And this helps calm down the mental chatter like that. The other thing I do if it's not in the evening time and I need to clear my mind, if it's in the daytime and I can't seem to get my focus on the thing that I need to focus on because I've got all this other mental chatter and all this yippity, 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 yippity going on, right? How many of you have that thing? Yippity, 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 right? I bring myself into the present moment. And in NLP, this is called uptiming. Actually, my mom had told me that. And so what I'll do is I will become acutely aware of where I am in the present moment. So what I will do is I will visually become aware of what's around me. I'll look at things. I'll auditorially be aware of what sounds do I hear? What am I feeling? Where am I sitting? You know, if I'm sitting at work, and right now at work is in my house, so I'll feel my chair. Okay, where am I? I bring myself into the present moment, into the now, by paying attention to all of my senses. So my senses are then heightened. So I heighten my senses by focusing visually where I am. What sounds do I hear around me? What do I feel? How do I feel in my body? But I visually just, boom, bring myself back into the body, bringing myself back into my body. It's like I'll take a breath. Let's say I'm up here in my head. I'll bring the energy down, inhale into the belly, bring myself back into the body. Sue Morter does this with, Dr. Sue Morter does this with the breathing work that she does with the energy codes. And so it just brings you right back into your body, out of your head. Let it shoot out, your breath shoot out down through your feet, and become acutely aware of visually what's happening around you at the moment. So you look around your room, you say, oh, there's a picture there. Okay, what about that picture? Okay, that's so beautiful. Or look at the colors. Really, really, really focus on something. Get your focus out of your head and into your senses. So out of your head, into your senses, into your breath. Works like a charm. So this morning, I want to share a story. So as I shared in the beginning, I have been doing a meditation practice now for years and years and years. And when I say practice, because it's really a practice, because one of my main, one of the things that I strive for in my meditation is complete and total stillness. is complete and total stillness of mind, stillness of body, silence. Stillness of body, meaning that my body isn't all amped up and I'm not all jittery and I'm not like moving around. So I've been meditating since I've been on and off since I've been about 16. And I work to meditate almost every single day now. Some days it could only be like 10 minutes. Other days it could be an hour. But what I'm looking to do is bringing myself back into center, creating stillness, quietness, silence. And this morning, I had something really wild happen, because whenever I close my eyes, like if you were to all close your eyes right now, you close your eyes and you see colors and you see different things just floating around, right? When you close your eyes, I typically see like bursts of colors, or I'll see, things appear, or different lights, different things happen when you close your eyes, especially when you're in meditation. Well, this morning, sitting and breathing, and I start my day with music, and I start my day with Karen Drucker and Chris Volker. I have that in actually a category on my cell phone called spiritual music. And I know that my spiritual, not meditation, but spiritual music. And my spiritual music does help, and I'll show you guys, does help to just get me in the right mindset. So all my spiritual music is listed here: Karen Drucker, Chris Volker. And so I'll put that on shuffle as I'm getting ready for my morning. And then I go in to meditate. And so I'm sitting in stillness this morning and just breathing and sitting in stillness. And for all the years that I have been meditating, this has never, ever, ever happened. And I feel like it's like I got to a point. It's like I got to another level. And in front of me was just, instead of seeing colors, and I'm in stillness and I'm quiet, and instead of seeing colors or anything appear, was just a clean slate, was just nothingness. It was just like a clean chalkboard. And it was just complete and total beingness and stillness and quietness. And I could have sat there, if I didn't have a meeting to go to with our team, I could have actually sat there for at least an hour, if not longer. And so what I saw in front of me was just like a clean slate. That's the best way I could describe it, or a chalkboard. So there was just nothing. There were no colors. There were no things, popping in front of me. It was just clean. And it's the first time I've ever experienced that. And it was bliss. It was just total bliss, because I got to that point of quietness, of stillness, where I could hear myself, where I could hear my soul, where I could hear my spirit, where I was making space for my angels, or communication from spirit, communication from God. And it was just absolutely pure. And in all these years of meditating, 40 years of meditating now, it's never happened. And it was very, very exciting. So I happened to meditate the other day. I was been going through something really challenging, in that we lost our kitty, Puck, who was named after the mischievous fairy Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream. And he was 15 years old, and his body was giving out. And so Jeff and I assisted in his transition. And we had somebody come into the house last week, and Jeff made a beautiful wooden box, and Puck is out on our property. We buried him on our property. And so I was having a really difficult time, and still I'm kind of processing all of that. And we feel him around the house a great deal. So many of you have heard me talk about this a lot, but one of my go-to teachers, my first teacher ever, really was Emmanuel. And Emmanuel was an energy that was channeled by Pat Rodegast. And for those of you who have been to our Celebrate Your Life events, Pat now is no longer in the physical. Pat transitioned a few years ago. But Pat used to channel Emmanuel, an energy that she called Emmanuel. And she has written several books. And one of the books is Emmanuel's book. And you can see how torn and beaten up this book is. It's really, really beaten up. And Pat signed this to my mom many years ago, many years ago. I'd have to say, that's a really good question when this was published. I mean, the pages are yellowed and they're all crinkled, right? So, but this book is really my my go-to spiritual teacher. I love Emmanuel's work. And if you've never had an opportunity to pick this up, I don't even know if it's still in print. At any rate, so I had the book next to me in my little meditation nook, and I meditate with crystals, and I meditate with a deck of cards. And so after this meditation this morning, when I felt that complete space of stillness, nothingness in front of me, like a blank chalkboard, just a blank slate, I opened the book up. And this is the kind of book that is written almost in prose. So you can open it up anywhere so you can see just a little visual. And it's just channelings from Emmanuel. Channelings that Pat downloaded from Emmanuel. So I opened it up this morning, and she has everything in here from, death and dying to illness, to fear, to love, to relationships. It's like everything is covered in Emmanuel's book. Yes, Mona just said, sounds like what Wayne Dyer used to say was the gap. It may have been, but it felt more like I had stepped into the void, if that makes any sense. Into that, not void, that sounds negative, just complete stillness of nothingness. It's very cool. Anyway, so I literally just did this. I said, oh, I'm in this space. And I opened the book, just opened it. Right after my meditation. And I want to read this to you, what I opened it to. It's going to make me cry because I can feel Pat and my mother was, I have to say, my mom was really my first spiritual teacher. And she was the one who, Emmanuel's book literally fell off the shelf to her at her feet. And it had to have been the 80s. I know it was the 80s. And Ram Dass loved Emmanuel. As a matter of fact, Ram Dass did the foreword to this book. Yes. So here's what I opened it up to. Out of 200 pages here, right? Meditation is a path that will help you release the treasures of self-love that rest deep within you. Let me read that again. Meditation is a path that will help you release the treasures of self-love that rest deep within you. This may also include, from time to time, offer difficulties in that you will be forced to see your imperfections. These are transitory states. They are areas where the life force has been petrified. When this force is freed, it will flow sweetly again, blissfully. Listen to your inner being. It is wiser than your conscious mind. As meditation, almost anything will do. Music, a quiet walk, an excellent meal, firelight, candlelight, holding the hands of a loved one, whatever causes you to center into the joy of your beingness and to disregard the clamoring of your intellect. Some of you tend to become too rigid in form. There are as many ways to meditate as there are people to walk the earth. Everyone needs to go into their own inner silence, their own inner truth in whatever way they can. This inner illumination is your birthright. It is the key to the essence of your being, to your soul's wisdom. Let me say that again. This inner illumination is your birthright. It is the key to the essence of your being, to your soul's wisdom. In your meditative practice, see that time of quiet as an open door Through that door, you walk into a broader light, into a wider sense of self and reality. Definitions are only for clarification, not imprisonment. Remember that. When one comes to a threshold of expansion in meditation, there comes a time when the intellectual mind is not capable of following. To feel that you have somehow to keep control through the intellect puts a limitation on where this expansion is trying to go. As you ultimately move beyond your intellectual mind, you will touch your soul mind. The soul mind is able to give form and substance, meaning and relationship to the expanded consciousness in meditation. And I knew the minute that this happened this morning, and when I opened it up to this, I knew I had to share this, and it gave me such confirmation of, everything that we're doing, everything we do to work through our life challenges, especially right now. I get it. We haven't been able to do an event, since last year, a live event. And that is small compared to what other people are going through. And I get it. But being able to come back to your soul's voice, to the quietness inside you. And then this to me was my miracle today. This was my miracle. And miracles unfold and magic unfolds in so many different ways in our lives. And for me, this was my magic today, and I wanted to share it all with you. And if you're listening, that means that the magic is being passed on to each one of you. And think about what I just shared in terms of allowing yourself to drop into stillness, to allow the mental chatter to stop. And that's something that I do say to myself out loud. I will say to myself, stop. Stop. It's time to stop. And in a way that all of my being knows that I'm serious. Because oftentimes when we're in that place of mental chatter, we're like peeling ourselves off the ceiling physically. Something's going on. We're uchi, and our physical bodies need to be calmed down as well. So if you're just joining me, then just rewind the video, and you'll understand what I'm talking about, how to calm yourself down physically, emotionally, mentally, and stepping into that space of just complete stillness. It's really beautiful. It was really beautiful. Oh, I love sharing this time with you. So on that note, I do want to share something else with you, that we have one of our biggest sales ever. I know I'm kind of shifting from meditation into a sale, because one of the sales that we're doing right now is for the Celebrate Your Life Online Soul Fest. And the Soul Fest we put together last year before we even knew that COVID was starting. And the Soul Fest has over 55 video lessons. It's our first time ever doing anything online. And we released it in January and February. And we're selling it right now for 55% off. So let me just give you guys the URL to that. If any of you are interested. Right now, it's only $88. And let's see if I can find this. Here we go. There's the website. Just for the next 8 days of Hanukkah, we're celebrating what we call Christmaka. Christmaka. So we celebrate Hanukkah and Christmas in our house. Here, I'll show you a picture of our menorah. It was really, I have to say, Jeff's not Jewish, and yet I love the way he embraces all of my Jewish traditions, all of my Judaism. And so last night we lit the menorah. Here's a picture of our menorah. And so I'll post this in the Facebook group also, but it's such a blessing. We say the blessing together, the Baruch together every night. And people have always said to me, well, do you get a present every night? We used to as kids. Exactly. So, oh, Janet, that's how you found us, through the Soul Fest. Okay, so the Soul Fest has 55 video interview lessons with, I think, some of the greatest influential game changers of our time. And we're selling it right now. It's normally $197. And we're selling it right now for $88. It's a screaming deal, only for the next 8 days, only until December 18th. So there's all kinds of beautiful wisdom. And what I love about all of the teachers, and this is so interesting, because we decided on the topic to be resiliency and how to get through challenging times in our life before COVID even hit. And then in February, we released it. And then, of course, in March, the COVID hit. So all of these teachings are so relevant to what's going on right now. And it comes down to about $1.60 a teaching. And plus there's all kinds of juicy bonus items with that. So it's just a screaming deal. And it's a beautiful gift to give someone. I've had actually a couple of people email me telling me that they gave it away as a gift to friends and family, and they just fell in love with it. So go ahead and check it out if that resonates for you. The website is right there. So it's celebrateyourlife.com/store/Black Friday. And we've got all kinds of fun items on there. We're getting rid of a lot of the inventory we have. And here's the deal. I'm going to ask you, whether it's me or whether it's another small business that you know of, to please shop small business this year. Shop small business, because we are the ones that have been hit really hard during COVID. And we greatly, greatly appreciate your support, your business. If there's something in there that you really love and resonate with, or can think of to give a gift to someone, please shop small business, because we need it. We appreciate it. And if you're going to spend your money out there, please consider going to some of the artisans that we have on our website, as well as the Soul Fest, or anyone else you know that runs a small business. We appreciate it. Okay, you guys, that's it for now. Any questions about dropping into stillness? Any questions about anything that we've talked about today? Again, the book that I was talking about is Emmanuel's book that I read from about meditation. If any of you want to check that out. One of my all-time favorites, and I think someone said it's still available on Amazon. And truly one of my, it's a mess. Look at this book. It's all tattered. Let's see. I'm thinking it was written, I'm going to look at the date it was written. Ram Dass did the foreword, that I know. And oh my goodness, the pages are all like crinkled and yellowed. The copyright, this went into print. The first edition was printed in 1985. And the information is completely timeless. It's just pure love. Just pure, total love. You have all three of his books, of Emmanuel's books. Pat, she and my mom were dear friends after they met. And we actually, well, funny story. So she was one of my original teachers. I was not doing Mishka Productions. I was an actress at the time. And there was a lecture going on in LA. I was living in LA. And the evening lecture was $20. And I could afford the $20. But the next day presentation was $75. It was a full day, and I could not afford the $75. So I had called the producers up and said, I will do anything. I'll volunteer. I'll serve water. I'll do whatever you need. And they said to me, we're totally filled up with our volunteers. We don't need anybody, no one. And I went to that Friday night lecture, and I walked out of that lecture just in tears. I was so filled. Being in the presence of Pat, her energy, and channeling Emmanuel just cracked my heart wide open. And I must have been about 25, 26 at the time. I think I was more like 26. So I went home and I'm in tears, just cracked wide open, just loving the presentation. I get a phone call at 6 o'clock the next morning that someone could not make it and they want to donate their ticket to somebody who really wants to be there. So that was me. So I went the next day and I sat, they had a metal folding chairs. It was in someone's home. And I met Pat and I sat there in that metal folding chair at 26 years old, and you're really oochie and like you want to do things right at that age, motionless for 8 hours, listening, taking it all in, loving it. And then years and years later, I love the synchronicity of the universe, right? My mom had actually met Pat she went to an event or did an event, something with Pat years later after that. And then when we started Mishka Productions, I can't even think of when it was. It must have been about 5 years into having started the company. I get a phone call from this woman, and now I'm skipping forward to the 90s. All right. So it probably was around 98 or 98 or 99-ish. We get a phone call from this woman who said to me, my mother-in-law, my husband and I live here in Arizona, and my mother-in-law is coming to Arizona, and she's written a book. It's a spiritual book. You may or may not have heard of it. And she said, the name of her books are Emmanuel's book. And I literally started screaming like, oh my God, not only have I heard of it, but this is my spiritual teacher. This is the woman who has started me on my journey. And, Emmanuel's book was not this big, huge New York Times bestselling book. It was not like on the New York Times bestselling list. It wasn't anything, huge like that. It was a very, very quiet movement. It still is a quiet movement of Pat followers. And of course I started crying, because I'm so non-emotional. And we of course said, yes, we'd love. So I got to meet my teacher and work with her for years. And my mom and Pat were about the same age, and they ended up becoming dear, dear friends. And they traveled to Assisi together and just traveled all over and spent time together. So what I just, when I think of that story, it just sort of all came, full circle back to Emmanuel's teachings. And then, of course, this morning, dropping into that place of stillness and then opening to the place in the book where she talks about meditation. So you saw Pat at Celebrate. Oh, Barbara, what a blessing. I still have some of her audio workshops. I should release those. Actually, we have, as part of the sale, if any of you are interested, as part of the Black Friday sale, you can see that on your screen, the URL. We have all of our audio workshops on sale. And Pat is among those audio workshops, I believe. If not, I know that we're giving away a whole package of hers and Wayne Dyer's and Debbie Ford's audio workshops as part of those bonuses that the CYL Online Soul Fest is on sale for. So as part of that CYL Online Soul Fest package, you'll get a package of Pat workshops and Wayne Dyer workshops and Debbie Ford workshops. Yeah. So check out the Black Friday sale, you guys. Again, small businesses, we deeply appreciate your business right now. We really do. So thank you. All right, everybody. So much love to all of you. From my heart to yours, sending you so many blessings. And I'll see you soon. Okay. Mwah.